Hello everyone, it's Aislinn here, and this is my Reading Rush TBR. So most of the books are going to be digital and audio, just because that week is so busy, and if I keep it digital, I might actually get through something. So, let's see. Oh, before I get too far, I will post pictures of anything I'm reading right here. There is a couple physical books that I may hold up, but for the most part, like I said, they're digital and I'll post pictures. So for the first challenge, which was read a book with a cover that matches the color of your birthstone. So I'm an October baby, and October has two birthstones, opals and tourmalines. I am a huge fan of opals. I love opals. So that's the one of the two that I went with. Opals tend to be primarily white. They might have streakings of other colors in them, or be kind of iridescent. But they are primarily white. So for that, I went with Diamond City. And as you can see, the cover's primarily white, though it has this beautiful center to it, which is a burst of color. And that's kind of what it reminded me a lot of an opal after I read that challenge and I was scrolling through, so I chose that one. And the second challenge was read a book that starts with the letter the. Now I wanted to get a little creative with this, and I wanted to choose a book that the actual first chapter started with the letter the. That's impossible, at least in my bookshelves. So I ended up going with a book that has the in the title, which is the first audiobook on this list, and that is The Death of Dulgath, which is part of the Rhaeria saga, which I am very slowly working my way through. Absolutely love it, but it is a slow go for me because I get really absorbed into them, and my reading tends to slow down when I'm into one of those books because I want to savor it. Next one, a book that inspired a movie you've already seen. This was incredibly hard for me. I don't watch movies. Very rarely do I watch movies. I shouldn't say never, because I do, but very, very rarely. And if they are movies, they're things like Batman, and there's stuff that they're very blatantly set off something already, like The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, you know what I mean. So, and a movie that was inspired by a book that I have not already read, but I've seen the movie. That one, honestly, I don't have a book for that. I have a couple things I might do, I might tweak that a bit. I could use my Full Metal Alchemist manga. I would like to reread that at some point. I have read it once before. And it actually has two versions of the anime series, and I've seen both versions. The first version was done in 2003, and its prologue is very close to the book, but then it canon diverts extremely the other way, and is basically it's all its own story. And there is a movie with that. That's the epilogue of that series that I have seen. And I've seen the second one too. Don't get me wrong. Brotherhood is the more popular because it follows the manga more closely. But that one, again, I've read the manga first, so I don't really know if that would count, but it is a possibility for the books that I have. I might just use it anyway. Another possibility I've got is Vampire Knight. Now this one is a manga that has inspired one of my favorite animes by the same title, and I own all the manga. I don't believe I have actually read it. I don't recall actually reading it. I may have, if I did, it was many years ago, and I don't remember anything about it. So that also may be the one I go with. So that's an idea, but that challenge, I might wait to the end of the readathon or close to the end of the readathon and see where I am with the other challenges before I make a final decision. Moving along, read the first book that you touch. I'm reading in a digital format, so this was extremely hard, and I needed an audiobook again. So what I did is I gave my mother a list of my audiobooks. I had her write them on little pieces of paper, and then I drew one out of a hat. And the book that I drew was Paper Magician. I'll put that right here. And basically, I just reached in, first piece of paper I touched, I pulled it out, and that's how I chose. So that's one way to do it if you're like me and reading in a digital format. So book 5 is read a book outside your house. This may or may not be difficult, just because, I do have a beautiful backyard I can go sit in, but we have been torrentially raining for like 3 months now. So I don't know if the day I plan to do this or the week. Next week is looking like it's going to be like our worst storm week yet. So I don't know. I may be able to sit outside. I don't have a covered deck or anything, so I'd literally have to sit in my lawn. But if it's pouring rain, then what I think I'm going to do is just sit by an open window and enjoy the sounds of, nature and rainfall, but not get absolutely soaking wet. And for that, I chose a short book, and that is Twilight Princess, the manga adaptation of the Twilight Princess video game. I've been reading through all these Legend of Zelda manga adaptations as they've been coming out, and I've absolutely been loving them. They are absolutely amazing, and the art is just mwah. So this came in last week, and it's actually killing me because I want to start it right now, but I told myself no, I'm going to do it for the readathon. So that's got to wait a little while longer, but that is one of 2 hard physical books on this list. Number 6 was read a book in a genre you always wanted to read more of. So I've been really trying to get into thrillers. Thrillers are interesting to me, but they're very, very hard for me because I'm not a contemporary person. Like, I don't generally like things set in the modern world. I like my fantasies. I like sci-fis, manga, even urban fantasies. I'm not the biggest fan of. There's a couple of series that I hold really close to my heart, but that one's tough for me. So I looked through my audiobooks again, and I settled on Circle of Bones, which looks like it's a little bit of, it is modern, set in our world, but there's a bit of a thriller, a bit of a mystery, but it ties in with like history, and I'm a big history person. Like, I love history. So it's part 1 of the Shipwreck series. So you know what? I thought, why not? Let's just go with it. I had to choose something, and now's a good time to choose it, I guess. Then the last one is read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. So I'm Canadian. I live in North America, obviously. So what I did is I, again, went through my shelves, and part of me wanted to be cheeky and just choose a random fantasy book and go, haha, made up world, technically different continent. But then I thought, no, I better actually put some thought into this. So I did go with fantasy, but it's an urban fantasy. And after I just said I don't read a whole lot of it, but this one is a little bit of urban fantasy, a little bit of like sci-fi futuristic stuff. It looks like anyway. And that is The Gilded Cage. I have tried to read this once before. I read 2 chapters. My bookmark's not in here anymore. I believe it was 2 chapters. This was last year, maybe the year before. And then I put it down because it was I found it boring. But I tried again, and because I have the second book now, and a couple of friends have said the second book is amazing. So, but to read the second, I got to plug through the first. So you know what? It's not that big. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to put all my past experiences aside and try and go into it with an open mind and a fresh set of eyes, and maybe I can make it past chapter 2. So if I'm not too busy, I'll try and vlog next week. So you might just see me pulling my hair out with this one, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that is the end of my Reading Rush TBR. I will catch you all at the latest. Will be at the end of the marathon when I do my wrap up. If I can find time to vlog throughout the week, because I still am trying to get into vlogging. Every time I plan to do that, that fails dramatically. But yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, off topic. Have yourself a wonderful day, everyone. And I will catch you on the next update.